I'll send you some links.
I don't know. I had conversations with you in my head before you got here, and yeah.
I'm glad.
Is it going as good as you thought?
I really like your videos. I was actually talking to my wife about it. You said something, I think it was in a very recent video. We were just looking at your feet the whole time about leaving your mark and how everybody aspires to leave their mark. And some of them, it's just dirt, right? Now, I was actually thinking about it in the YouTube sense. Like, people can imagine whose mark is just dirt on the wall, right? And then, like, I like to think that my mark is silver in that, like, you probably haven't seen my body of work. But I talk about... Well, shucks, lately I've been giving advice on investing and how to break up cleanly and, toxic friends and so, like different advice that helps young people get through the social navigation that is this world. And you probably don't know my story, but in fast forward, as a teenager, I had terrible grades and I tried to kill myself. And then throughout life, things sort of got better and better and better until I found some, family and financial success, right? So this is sort of a really bad spot to a much better one. And I think of my videos and I'm like, I feel like I left a mark to some extent. And it's not dirt, it's silver, and yours is gold. And I think that's pretty neat. I don't know where I'm going with this topic so much, but
I don't care where you go with it. That was just a very sweet thing to say. But yeah, it's a weird thing to have happened. And I don't like the era of YouTuber that we didn't know what the hell was going on. We didn't know what was happening to us. We didn't understand. Like, it was a bunch of luck. We showed up in this place because it seemed interesting. We started making stuff because it seemed fun, and then like money came, and that was just such a wonderful surprise that like I started getting checks in the mail, and nowadays, like, people know that YouTube is a way to make money, and a lot of YouTubers started after that was a thing, and like with the intent of getting to that place where you could be somebody who would make a living as a YouTuber. And of course, that's fine, wonderful, and I encourage as many people to try and do that as possible because it's a great career, and it's really fun, and you don't have to quit your other job to do it. But like, of this era, there are so many people who are just deeply grateful that this thing happened to them, and that's such a nice thing to have be sort of a streak in the community. Where when I talk to people who started making content like before 2010, there's just this universality of gratefulness, and very little entitlement about it. That there has been more of that, and occasionally I feel it myself, being like, this is how it is now, and with Facebook freebooting content and not paying anybody and not doing anything to try and protect creators' copyright. There's a bit of entitlement there, where if that had happened in 2007, I wouldn't have given a shit because I wasn't making any money anywhere. I was just wanting people to watch my content.
It might have been exciting to see your stuff rebooted back in the day. It's pretty awesome when I'm a capitalist. But
I'm a capitalism.
Oh, me too.
It's pretty awesome when you can find this cross section and sit at doing good for other people and doing good for yourself at the same time. And I think of the whole Crash Course channel does that, right? I'm sure it wasn't completely lost on you guys when you launched it that, hey, this might have a pretty good long tail. A good deed doesn't become bad because it helps you. And shucks, I don't know. I just think it'd be pretty neat if more people entered that space with that in their mind. You know what? I can make a math tutoring channel, or I could do this, or you break things down.
Sometimes I feel like a kind of a dick talking about it because of course I had it super easy. Not only was I able to pull off YouTube pretty effectively early on because I had money in the bank, but I also had experience in business. I had experience in content creation, and I started in 2007 when there was not a lot to distract other people from what I was doing. There was a lot of attention and not a lot of content. Nowadays, it's very hard. And so I can say look, why can't you just try to make something that's good and that people will watch and that isn't fucking awful for the world? But how are you going to get noticed?
I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You're like, oh, it was
Yeah, I
easy
feel
back
like
in
you were
my
being
day. I just worked
hard
at
on
it full time for years without any payment, slaving away for the joy of my craft, and then piece of cake. I don't know why
But
everyone else doesn't do it.
I sometimes feel bad when I like the thoughts that I have about some creators that are making stuff, and I can like see the tricks they're using to get views, and I feel like those tricks are a little underhanded. I'm not saying that they're making like shitty prank videos where they're molesting people in public. I'm saying like people who are just like their titles are a little misleading, or their thumbnails are real good, but real good in that way that's not quite accurate, and like. It's easy for me to criticize somebody there from a place where, I have 3 channels that have more than 3 million subscribers. So like, fuck, like I've got it. I've got lots of ways to get attention right now. I've got, and like, what a wonderful place to be in. No one has ever had more opportunity to be, for people to look at them than I have. Like people look at me a lot and they say lots of nice things about me. So it's very easy for me not to be you don't
have to lower your morality standards because you're winning.
Yes, correct.
If someone came to you and
good soundbite, you did it.
Yeah, Kyle does that for me a lot. Yeah. What's the business model behind VidCon?
Tickets and advertising.
Tickets and advertising.
Sponsorship sales, about 50-50. Those 2 things.
Huh. That's pretty neat. I went to VidCon once. I was on a panel, and it was a really neat experience. Go check out VidCon, people.
Yeah, it's this podcast brought to you by. No, it's not.
It is not.
I want to step on your other sponsors. But yeah, VidCon. It costs money to go to VidCon, and we sell a lot of sponsorships. And in recent years, the sponsorships have become a bigger deal because now like people sort of like companies understand that we exist, that we're legitimate. And so we are able to keep ticket prices down by selling YouTube and Kia and all kinds of cool people sponsorships so that they can show off their wares.